Okay, hi, it's Randy Pottinger. Now, I haven't been doing much promotion on the book because I'm working on the second book to kind of launch both books out together. Now, this is my life's work. And when I say life work, I mean it took me 15 years to study the construction of religion. I'm the director of the world's largest African history archive. So basically, I've seen a lot of information about a lot of stuff, and I was privileged to upload them to the internet. I've uploaded 700 videos to the internet, and I studied for over 15 years watching all those videos plus others. I also brought 2,000 digital books to Africa. Now, a lot of my colleagues or people who see me do videos, they don't really know who I am. So people like Clemson Brown, they don't know who that is. Walter Williams, Bar Shango, Dr. Henry Clark. I'm a student of the masters. But more than just a student, I had access to information before it went to the internet. So I had access to thousands of hours of footage, information. One of the most important information that I had access to was Dr. Clark's videos, 59 of them. But there was a teacher named Professor Oibo. About 15 years ago, I watched a video on a equation called Gagat, and that equation was the God equation. Now, in math class in high school, the teacher used to skip me in the class. My brain was developed differently. And because my brain was wired differently, my uncle used to say, when you were little, you used to build things, you were the box. You know, he said, when people say, think out of the box, he said, you were actually the box, your brain. So my brain works differently. Now, on the planet, when your brain works differently, people would want to say, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this. Now, what's fascinating is that we each have different minds. So I have a very logical brain. So in math class, I used to just watch the math teacher, and the math teacher used to skip me because I scored 100 in every test. And he would walk around the class and say, see, people, you guys need to be like Randy. Two of my close friends, one later on worked at, the refrigerator is on. Let me pause this. I'm back. So my friend, one of my friend worked at Lockheed Martin in the same math class. Other friend went to MIT. So my friends in high school were very smart. But I was the one who the math teacher said to everybody, you guys need to be like Randy. Now, I didn't do homework. Why was I scoring 100 on every test? I started to learn how to process information, not with my brain, but let's say with my spirit. Basically, my spiritual brain, the bigger brain. What does that mean? When I was growing up, I used to hang out with a lot of dogs. And I used to sit with them around a fire. I used to be in nature back in St. Mary in Jamaica. And what happened to me was I developed a different way because the animals, I don't know if something happened when they were looking into my eyes and we were just like brothers. Me and the animals would just sit underneath the cellar, the firelight, and we were having like a reasoning. But it was like animals have a way to communicate. They have an advanced way to communicate that we haven't developed. So when I hanged out with the dogs, I think they gave me something. I was one of the leader of the pack. The animals, I think, gave me an ability, an instinct. So I was able to use other dimension of myself other than just my brain. So when you hang out with nature, when you deal with trees and animals, they have a different way. And I'm sure some people will understand this. It's weird that this guy's saying dog taught him how to reason. But I say that because I want to give credit, in a way, to how my brain works and my development growing up in Jamaica, why I think differently, and how I use instincts over mind. That's the other mind, the mind that is not of information, but the mind that taps into the wave, the universe, but it can be activated quickly. So, back to Gagat, the man who wrote the God equation. So when I looked at Gagat, presented by Clemson Brown, it's a powerful Nigerian professor, Professor Oyibo. He wrote this equation, and this equation was powerful. They said it went beyond Einstein, and he got a lot of degrees. And the book that he wrote, one point sold on eBay for $16,000. So anyway, Clemson Brown was a big fan of Gagat theory. But when I looked at the theory, I didn't look at math as far as the information. I was looking at math different dimensions, my animal instincts, I was looking at information differently. I processed differently. But the equation for me, I say, if that's the God equation, how do I teach to a 5-year-old? So I start realizing, not that I didn't believe it, but I said, but that's too complex. The God equation cannot be that complex. That makes no sense. So anyway, I left it alone for many years, and I continued studying. I continued watching the videos, and I continued to build the website Transatlantic Production. I'm the one who built it to 135,000 subscribers, and I'm the one who uploaded the 700 videos. So in studying at the feet of these masters and hanging out with Clemson Brown, I kind of stayed in the background, on the ground. Those much is given, much is expected. I was able to watch content 2 years before the people in the world, because all the videos was in his basement. I spent over 10 years digitizing the content for tapvideo.com, Transatlantic Production, hashtag The New Black Mind. I uploaded those videos to the internet. So I was privy to a lot of information from ancient Kemetic teachings, the liberated information, right? Knowing what's in the Bible, what they're going crazy about, knowing how it was constructed. So we didn't focus on the information. For some reason, after seeing thousands of videos of information, I had to come up with my version of all of this information. So I had a friend, we were friends from St. Catherine in Jamaica, and he would hear me talk, and he would sit with me, my friend Bobby, remotely sometimes, and I would talk for 8 hours, and he would listen to me over for 20 years. He's just listened to me talking. So because of him, I was able to exercise the mind. Then I had this girlfriend, and one time, when about age 28, through my transition spiritually, through my awakening, my African connection, I used to work in corporate, my mind and everything was a bit disturbed. Something is waking up in me. This African spirituality, the system, they call it the awakening. When you are in Africa, you are part of a spiritual tribe, and you're responsible for something, if you're in corporate in America, it's going to get you, and you're in the family, you're the lead in the tribe, you're the one the ancestors selected. There's nothing you can do. You have to follow the path. Enough of my journey. The point is, I had a responsibility. I had to write something based on all the information I saw. But because my brain was processing differently, that's why I was able to do what no man has ever done. One of my girlfriend at the time, she saw that something was happening to me, and she said, Randy, you have to balance. So I give her credit for this word, balance. And over time, this word, change, arrives. Over time, the all. Here's the power of this. So now, dogs are barking in Jamaica. Instead of now. So Randy Pottinger wrote the God equation that you could teach to a 5-year-old. This is the God equation. That's why it's the only truth. And the concept is the all energies, all thoughts, all objects, everything, even what you call nothing, all equals change and balance. What this is saying is the infinite all we call God only changes and it balances. So that's how you were, quote unquote, created. So this is you. You are a change. This is the all, infinitely. So the all changed into you. And whatever realm you're in, you balance as flesh. The all doesn't sleep after 7 days. You do. So when they say in the beginning God created, you being part of God, you recognize with your brain the trees, the sun, the moon, the waters, and it was good. And you slept after 7 days. Remember, you're part of God. So you recognize God doesn't create. God changes and balances because God is always in existence and always will be. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. God cannot be created or destroyed. And since God cannot be created or destroyed, how can you be created when you're part of God? You changed and you balance. The balance with the sun, the dirt, the oxygen, that's how you were formed. So they have it incorrect. So then the next generation will follow this teaching and that everything will make sense. Now the God equation all, we call God the all, can be applied to your diet, your ideas, your emotions, your thoughts, an iPhone, the color of the curtain. To change the curtain is change and balance when the water touches it. Every infinite stars in the galaxy is doing it. Every particle has this consciousness of change and balance. All of it. This is the guy that does it. What I'm proclaiming to each and every 8 billion people on the planet, no one will do what I've done infinitely. No human will go beyond this equation. It so happens that's why you have this artwork. This is why you have this African dude. This is why I was born. This is why the math teacher says, all of you need to be like Randy. Because in his consciousness, He figured out the entire function of the universe. And none of you in this math class will do what he's done. And none of you infinitely can challenge what he's done. Uh-oh. This boy's seriously gone mentally. So he challenged 8 billion people. They can't go higher than this equation. So this book is one of the most important book. Are you seeing the loop, the change in balance, the other human in the realms of the infinite? Are you paying attention? Someone said recently, Randy, I bought your book and we're at 5G and you're at 10G. Let me repeat this. There will be no human being that will be able to challenge this infinitely. That's why it's the only truth. You were never created. There's no beginning and end to you. The only thing, and you could apply it to governments, apply the God equation to governments and it fixes the problem, change and balance. Apply it to your ideas. You can't make love on the sun, so you change the ideas to balance. Apply it to music. That's how music works. That's how math works. Change and balance controls math. Change and balance controls science. Change and balance control life. Change and balance controls love. Love has an opposite, which is hate. Change has no opposite. Balance has no opposite. You can't say unbalance, off balance, on change. Change cannot, because all energy always existed and always will be. This is the constant. It's the extension of the constant, the two constant, the balance. So this is the only two things that's happening. So most of the time when you say, oh, we're unique, every human being is just doing this. So we're unique in our brain processing our realm. That's the only uniqueness we have. Our mind processing, but our entire body is just doing this. So me and you is the same because of change in balance. And the butterfly. And the seahorse. So what's the commonality between the iPhone and the seahorse? Change in balance. What's the commonality between the butterfly and my memory? Change in balance. What's the commonality between my feelings and my emotions and my idea and my thought? Now, people say math is universal. When you have a feeling, we cannot calculate that. Or an emotions. If we could calculate an emotions and a feeling or an idea, we can't calculate an idea. Math is not universal. And love is only for humans. We say love is like a wave run, it's a connection. Okay? Well, that love is not in our ideas, or it's not in math, or it's not, let's say. So love is mostly for mankind. The iPhone can't fall in love with this book. But there's change and balance in this book and change and balance in the iPhone. Randy's operating, a guy says, at 10G. You guys are operating at 5G. You think about beginning and end. That's how they taught you about God. In the beginning, God created. Nothing is created and nothing can be destroyed. But if you're part of God, God can be higher than you. This couch is not higher than this book because it's connected. Even if the book hovers over the couch, it's still connected. Electrical magnetic energy. Particles we can't see. All is connected. So if everything is connected, how can it be higher? The sun is connected to you. Is the sun higher than you? Makes no sense. So since everything in the universe is connected, which we call God, and you're part of that, so some people say, I am God. I am. They need to finish the sentence. I am a part of God. You see, again, you're processing at 5G. You're still in your binary. You're negative and positive. You're yin and you're yang. You're still on that. You're beginning and end. You're still thinking about God outside of you. Most High. Well, the Most High is change and balance. The Father is change and balance. This is what God is doing. We just don't want God. We don't want to know what God. Who? God is not a who. God is not a he. God is a change and a balance. So let's apply that to our diet. I'm having an argument with someone. Let's use God force, and then I'll write the person a letter to explain, or I distance myself from I change to balance with that person. So now you're seeing, the God activation. So we were supposed to activate God on planet Earth. When there's war, activate God. Now, so now there's the war. This fixes every single problem mathematically. This is how music happens. When you move your energy and beat the drum, your energy hits something, there's a change, the balance becomes the sound. When the moon or the sun and the waves and the oxygen change positions and stuff, the balance becomes flesh. But the flesh is changing. So how we see physical objects is because it's balancing with the amount of oxygen and the amount of nitrogen and the hydrogen and the carbon. That's how flesh is made. That's how that's how objects are made. Through the environment changes, and the balance is the result for what we see or hear, or the idea. The result of the idea is from the brain working, from the eyes seeing the color, from different mechanism in the system. The idea is the balance, but the idea will change. So in all realms and all dimensions, this is what I brought to you, friends and family. Oh, he's crazy. The man is crazy. He's not thinking like us. Well, if the butterfly had a brain, the only thing the birds follow in V formation, the bird at the front changes to the back, and the one at the back goes to the front. They're practicing change and balance. The ship on the ocean is practicing change and balance. The butterfly is practicing change and balance. Mankind forgot what the all our God is doing to apply to themselves. So now change and balance, when I practice this on a daily basis, if I have a problem, I'm running out of money, I got to change to do more sales, or to get another degree, or to get over my fear, or to seek help from someone else. And I need help. So I make a change calling for help for the better balance with the surroundings. If I'm having problems with my relationship, I'm going to change my level of communication. Write a letter, phone call. If I'm having... So it works. So what do people say about faith? Let me have faith in change and balance. I'm on a plane, and the plane is shaking. So you got to see there's a force in the universe. Like, you have the ability to change certain things for the balance within you. So you have that power because you're part of the all. You're part of God. You also have the ability. Now, so let's say this is you. You have a change and balance within you. You have certain choices that you could make. But then there's a force. There's the all plus you. All of it is changing in balance. And you're part of that change in balance. So you're a particle that's changing in balance. And you have the brain to make the decision. The butterfly has the wings and the energy to push against the wind. Let's say this is the wind. This is you, the butterfly. Every time this changes, you have to change that. So right between the two is what you would consider, let's say, faith. Faith. And this is where I don't want you to go, so Randy, you don't believe in faith. Yeah, I do. So let's say I'm in a plane and it's shaking, and I'm, let's say, praying to God or praying to the All. And I says, All, do what you wish. I'm here with you. My positive affirmation from my brain sends out a signal. That's what the Indians used to do, the Africans. I'm not saying stop praying and stop believing in God. I'm saying make some adjustments in how you see God. You should keep praying. Keep being positive. Keep serving the All. Don't stop. But know what the All is doing. It's not a He. This is the He. This is the Father. This principle cannot change. God is this principle. That's it. So I'm in the plane and the plane is shaking and going crazy. I apply a change because I'm part of God, and I send out a signal to the network, to the All. And then the wind, the turbines, the captain, the mechanical system, everything is, I send out a signal, and the people send out a signal. So prior works. Because we're part of the system, we could send out signals. That's what people are doing. So now I'm not saying it's wrong or right just to say All and not say Him or Father. The words we use are not important. It is just how we see them, how we interpret them. Okay? So you can call God the Father, the He. You stay on 5G, but God is really a change in balance. Apply this to your life. If you believe so wholeheartedly in religion and your Bible, some changes that you make, you will balance better with someone else from another denomination. You have to coexist in the universe. Let's back to faith. I'm in the plane. I send out the positive energy. I'm leaving it up to the All. I don't control the plane, but I'm sending out a signal. So the All hears everything. Not hears. You're part of the All. So every time you pray, something is going on with you. Something is coming towards you. Something is going out. It's the loop. Whatever actions you take, but you have to be fearless. And most of us have so much fear, we're not going to make any change in location, change in jobs, change, so you could balance. And then you're in frequency with the All. Fear of change. You guys are afraid sometimes. Or not disciplined with your diet or whatever you fear. Fear of what they wrote in books for you to challenge it. So I had to go through all this information to get rid of my fear, because the logic's in the information, and detoxing all this information, these lies, this one-dimensional way of thinking. In the beginning, God created. There's no beginning, only beginning to your brain. Your brain is what evolves out of your body on earth. When you're conscious and your eyes open, that's in the beginning. God didn't create, you recognize. So in the beginning of your consciousness on earth, you recognize what was around you. It was good, and then you slept after 7 days. You're right in the Bible. You're the one right in the Bible. You're the one that's been inspired by the All. And God said to this one, you could write anything you want, and you could have dominion over everything because you're the writer. And you're saying God is writing it. You're playing the little God. And that's what man did. And because when he developed these books, he was still in his infancy. He created in the beginning and end, and he put God's outside of him because he saw the S-U-N, and God became outside of him. He started seeing things outside of him and thought it was disconnected from him. So God became an external. So now when they say God is within, no such thing. Randy's changing everything. There's no inside and outside, it's only the all. So when you say God is, find God within you. There's no inside to you. If you're connected to the outside, how can there be an inside? There's a loop. God is within. God is all around us, all in us. There's no point in there. There's no center to the universe where you're going to go and God is over there in that center. It's infinite. There's no up or no down, no higher, no lower. That is crazy thinking, right? The loop. Everything they taught you was so you would never attain this level of consciousness back in the universal thought process. The loop. This is the equation. Apply to your life, your diet, your relationships. You're afraid because they program you to be afraid of even words. And here comes Rondi. Uh-oh. There's a scan code. There's a scan code when you buy this book. And the scan code, you can get the audio. Go to rondiponzer.com. rondiponzer.com, rondiponzer@gmail.com. You could buy this book there or go to Amazon and search for it. The Only True Thought Will Change About. I'm challenging each and every one of you. This is it. Took me 30 years. Now let's play something that someone said to me. I watch a lot of YouTube, Billy Carson. I watch everybody. Everybody's this and that. But I was patient. First, I grew up in nature. So nature taught me how to think. The animals passed something on to me, which was beautiful. I'm not a, and people said I was crazy. Family detached from me. But now people are buying the book. Uh-oh, Rondi's not crazy after all. He's just way beyond our thought process. Maybe he was born to do something that none will do. And there's a lot of jealousy, friends. I have people who treat me like I'm nothing. But I change and balance into nothing in front of them. I change and balance just to be among them. Because I'm no better. I just think differently. So that's the cool thing about change and balance. Whoever I'm around, I'm balancing with them. So I'm not this genius, multidimensional being that is higher than you. No, I don't believe in higher and lower. I believe in the all. But Randy, you don't believe in God, you're an atheist. I believe in the all. And we sometimes say almighty. They tried to lie on me, say I was an atheist. Because I used the concept he. Now, what about the Bible, Randy? Don't you believe in the word? Well, of course. The word is my Lord and Savior. Because some of those words that teacher did not say. Houston, you have a problem. I'm working on the second book to show you what the teacher never said. There's a lot of studying you're going to have to do. But I'm going to make a study guide for you so you could break down religion. Now listen to what someone said about this book. All right, go say what you're saying.
Okay, well, basically this morning we got talking about beliefs and what is happening in the world and so on and so on. And when we finished, obviously he picked up your book to start reading, and it fell on a page that aligns with exactly what him and I was talking about, exchanging, communicating with one another on a different level, on our beliefs. And what he's saying is that your level of overstanding or your level of just the world, nature. He gave an example. You're on 10G and he's probably on 5G. So he's got another 5 levels to really capture what you have written in this book, and he will get there. He said, Rondi has just blown me away. He's overstanding of what the all is, change and balance. And he was just laughing. He was just chuckling away. He said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Thank you for pointing me in this direction of getting this book. And he's off today. So that's what he'll be doing. He'll be reading some more. But he just says, your level is something else. He said he thought he knew a lot. But he believes he's on 5 or 6G, but you're... You've gone beyond, you've gone beyond. And I'm glad, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing your book with everyone. But he has come back blown away, absolutely blown away. I've told him that you're writing another book, and he can't wait for that to hit the shelves, and he will be buying that as well. But I think I'll introduce you guys, actually. You have a lot in common.
In time, I'm glad. I want him to receive the message because I want to clearly finish up this book. But I'm glad that, where is he located? What's England? Where?
England, in England, It's my co-worker. Beautiful. One of my co-workers,
See, this is some people don't give me feedback. Like you say, he was the first to say, we're on 5G. Rondi's on 10G. Houston, we have a problem. So you see, this is the problem I'm having with people around me. They don't want to tell me that their brain is hurting. They don't want to admit. They don't want to admit that they are impressed. They can't believe that the mind could actually get to a place where the spirit is. And they can't believe it. They can't believe that it's done. It's done. The game is over. There's no more. The brain is going to stop. It's going to stop. And I'm glad that someone admitted it. And I could know that I'm on not only the right path, but what I wanted or the intention is finally being realized. And some of my students, they get it. But some of them didn't even buy the book yet. So you see, my life's work without ego is a challenge. So get the book, read it. Tell me I'm wrong. So I'm glad I did this, and especially for my Jamaican brothers and sisters. Many of you see people doing things. You see books on the shelf, but you've never challenged it because most of you have never had access to information. You don't know astrotheology, you don't know Greek, you don't know Latin. You're still functioning what you are given. You've never been to Africa. You don't know Medjugorje, or you don't. Whenever you're working with anyone and you hear them start teaching something, ask them, who are your teachers? My teachers are, I just read the book. But who? My teachers have read 10,000 books. So what if I have 100 teachers reading 10,000 books and you just read one book and that book became the only book you read? Your perspective would be limited. So whenever you encounter people, ask them, who are your teachers? If we read this book, we'll all have our different interpretation. This is what's happening in the world. Chaos of knowledge. Everybody has a different interpretation, but there has to be an interpretation that could balance all religion, that can be the guiding light to balance and to be common in my fingernail, my ideas. There has to be something that the all will send us, a tool that will put us back in alignment with every single infinite stars. There has to be a clearer path, understanding, understanding, overstanding, and physical manifestation of God. A way we could use God as a tool in all different scenarios and situations and fix the world that we live in. And whatever activities we're doing that's not balanced, killing is not balanced. Certain nastiness is not balanced. So this is the judge. The same thing you say righteousness, but the infinite universe uses the word balance as righteousness. So you're still scratching the surface. When you teach, you're supposed to teach infinitely. Your answer must be infinite. They will come to you for the truth, but you can only find it here. That's why it's the only truth. I leave you with kindness and love, my brothers and sisters. Save it for your children. Maybe we will cross paths one day. Who knows? I've been hiding long enough. Didn't want to hurt your mental freedom. I didn't want to hurt your brain that you were given to. But the all, or God, gave me a whole lot. And for those who much is given, much is expected. This is the red version. This version, I'm going to put this back online at some point. But I leave this in Jamaica. The world, back in where I was born, this book will be left there. It's a very special version. I give this to special people. Things that I don't want the world to know yet is in this one. Because the world is not yet ready for certain things. The elders always knew that we weren't ready for certain things. So they didn't give us all the information. So get this and email me, contact me. Maybe one day you will receive this. Peace and infinite change and balance within your infinite dimensions and infinite life. Pass it on to your children.